No, I don't want to. You can't walk away then, mate. You can't.
This is a land grab, and this is a land grab of older people for profit. If I come to your house and kick you out, will you be alright?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Right to end of the other corridor, all on her own. Fred's in a bit, all on his own. Mick's all on his own, because they will not let.
We are here today to shine a light on the people that make these decisions.
The gentleman came to look and said he could come in. Yeah, on the Friday. On the Friday, came back on the Monday and they said, we're sorry, it's shut. They divided off last.
People to all these signs behind it, right? And then I'm going to go and I'm going to put it on them. I've got the names of all board members, Andy Warled and his salary, and all these people, bureaucrats make decision. And we'll do a talk outside, just basically highlighting all the bullshit that these do to force it onto Beulah Court. Then what we want it all to go. We want all these videos collated, yeah, to go viral and try and send them to podcast everything. I'll try and keep everything clean, yeah, and we'll make sure we highlight. Who they are, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's what we'll do. So we've got petitions, haven't we? So come on, let's get in there and get it on these.
Hi, love.
Oh, I've been all over the place. Everybody recognises me.
I've been filmed for ages.
If I come to your house and kick you out, will you be alright?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Oh, yeah.
We're here to represent small people. What we're doing is a good deed. It's a good deed. Yeah, so don't come in from a log end. So don't come log end.
What we'll do, I mean, I'm happy to negotiate and we'll get this resolved. But this is. Hang on, can we speak first? What we want to do is we want to have a meaningful meeting with someone in management.
And that's what we're,
if we can get that, if we can ask people to walk outside, I'll do that.
Could you ask them to just stand outside? Leave 2 or 3 in here.
Lynn, if we can agree that we can have a sit down with the management to speak, we'll ask people to wait outside.
So that we can answer his phones and do his jobs properly.
No, I don't want to. You can't walk away then, mate. You can't walk away. What's your name? Is your name?
Right, all down and get the prosecutor for filming in a public place then. You need to know
Think of these old people, these poor old people.
And nobody's recession-proof, pal. You might be on the other end of it one day.
What?
You've just called us an asshole and me as well. I live in
Are you living in real world or somewhere?
I sympathise with you.
Yeah, well, I thought you were calling me an asshole.
No, I'm calling me.
I've come to support this lady.
I know.
Excuse me, love, I've come to support this lady. I'm not the enemy.
Right, listen, we're going to calm it down because we're going
on,
to
make him
arrange a
famous.
meeting.
It's just
Make him
me for
famous.
my own channel. It's not you that I'm filming.
Oh,
Yeah, but you're filming me.
What did you call an asshole?
Hey, we're only trying to make you famous, pal.
right, listen. These people here are going to lose their own. I'm fighting for it.
Exactly.
Now, these people have come to support these.
Yes.
Right or wrong, they're in this building.
I don't blame them.
Right.
They shouldn't. They were filming me.
We're going to calm it down, and then we're going to arrange a meeting. Right, with just 2 or 3 of us will be meeting with somebody high.
Yes.
Right?
You can film
You
anything.
can't film the person who don't want to.
Yeah, we're cool about that, we're just wasting your time.
By law.
I know we started it all off, but we're finishing it off, and that's why I just like to say,
You're joking. No, he's a tenant, that guy.
Management here waiting to attack.
She will do. They'll take it seriously.
They're
of course
trying
they will.
to. They're trying to get hold of somebody right now as we're speaking, because obviously we
No
weren't
problem.
expecting you.
That was the
working
plan.
from
That
home.
was the plan.
They're working from home, you see, so we've got to try and get somebody to come in, basically. So they are working it upstairs.
We'll do that. Thank you.
Hello, can everybody listen up, please? Yeah, can everybody listen up? It's cold outside, obviously we've got people from Beulah Court here today. Yeah, I want to read out the WDH statement. Tenants are our focus and priority in everything we do. We are committed to providing services that best suit their needs and ambitions. We value customer feedback and take every opportunity to listen to the tenant's voice to ensure it influences our decisions making shapes of our services. We provide a range of platforms for them to share their views and opinions. Right, let's just highlight this. So we are here today to represent people of Beulah Court, which is an independent living facility. WDH have made the conscious decision to wait out the elderly folk of Beulah Court, and some of these residents are here today, and I do not mean to offend. Can you even begin to imagine the psychological impact that can have on residents as loved ones die off, and as they're looking around their community room, what's the central part of this up? The community that was once thriving is 1 less, 2 less, 3 less, 4 less. Now we are here because the people of Notley have spoken, and these places are meant to represent what we want. Notley and Ferrybridge has had its heart ripped out by bureaucrats. We are here today to shine a light on the people that make these decisions. These people in this building that make these decisions do not represent us. Beulah Court has asked time and time again, put us in front of these people. Put us in front of the guys that are making the decisions and let our voices be heard. They've refused flat because they do not care about us and what we need. They don't care about our kids, our futures, and if we are going to make a stand like we are today, we have to do it in the thousands. You do not throw old people out of their homes and move them out of their communities. What if their families want to meet them? What if that family's struggling on the breadline in one of the million food banks that we've got throughout the country, so they can't afford the taxi fare to go see their loved one in that care home that you move them miles and miles away? Well, we are here today to say enough's enough, and still, even now we've been here 30 minutes in their lobby, they still haven't come down to collect this petition because they do not care about us.
2005, WDH bought the whole of Wakefield stock, the whole of Wakefield Council housing stock. They paid £15 million for the whole stock. Wakefield Council owns no council housing at all now.
Well, let's talk
so
about...
WDH have purchased that stock for £15 million on the basis that they would take on all the baggage, so to speak. That baggage would cost £700 million. That's all the repairs and everything like that. So they kind of got a good deal on the basis that we're taking on all that work. But they're not going to improve Beulah Court. They're not going to do all that work there. So I would suggest they should have to pay the full price if that were part of the deal. You know, there's 4 companies I just want to talk about, Matt. WDH is representing himself as a charitable company, okay, which is all well and good, but when you look into it and you look into their annual report, they've actually 4 companies that they own. One of them is the one that builds all the houses, one of them is the one that controls all their online activity, and the other one is the one that deals with all the application process. They've pretty much got a monopoly on property in Wakefield.
Then I'll jump in on that, and what that means is the taxpayers' money they are using through the charity organisation to build these properties is not going back into the people. It's going into corporate CEOs. And I want to touch on Andy Warlhead. I want to just get this out there. There was a story that I read this morning about £350 bonus. He said, Andy Warlett said that just be, I'm not getting a bonus to be a pay rise. He said, I'm going to take the same £350 bonus as all my working staff. I think that's fair. It's in line with equality all the way through the country. Well, let me tell you this guy's on a 200k a year salary. And he's took his £350 salary. All them people at the top of the food chain should be taking a £350 bonus. They should say, we're not taking no bonus. That bonus should be split between WDH employees. All about it's about having morals. And the reason why we need to be here, we need to be in this place, we have to put these people in the magnifying glass. It's important for integrity and decency that they are held to account. This is so important. And this is a fact. And I want you guys to know, we need to take these petitions and we'll leave.
We can't leave until we've seen management. No, we need to see management before we can leave, Matt. We've got to have a meeting with management. We'll wait. We'll wait.
Working from home this day.
Yeah, there's someone coming in. Yeah, there's someone coming in.
People coming in?
Yeah.
Can everybody solve your hands up so it can be seen up front, please? Where does all the money go? Tearing the hearts out of the community. Putting profits into our people. Every community.
I live in Beulah Court, and I was told when I came in 6 years ago, well, maybe 7, you better get in now, Jim, because if not, we're not getting in, because it's all getting modernised. And Beulah Court was nearly full when I lived in there, and because of people dying, we persuaded them all to go to bed again. That's why there's only the faithful Beulah. Me, Fred, Mick, what's the colour upstairs? Rose, and other Rose.
Bless you, love.
Yeah.
Your courage is what I said today.
I go upstairs to an empty corridor. I live in middle, no one else about, apart from Rose, if you know what I mean, right at the other end. Then there's Paul, we've got her name again. Right at the end of the other corridor, all on her own. Fred's in a bit, all on his own. Mick's all on his own, because they will not let him. A man came, and they were going to let him come in, right? His son was in, and he came on the Friday, but he hadn't time to sign up for the flat. Came back on the Monday, he said, sorry love, you can't have it, we're not letting him anymore. And that was over 6 years ago. We've had people coming to the door crying, haven't we, Fred? How do we get in here?
If WDH only had that charitable organisation, they would be desperate for that rental income. They would be desperate to fill them flats. But because they've got 3 companies,
electric meters.
Oh yeah, they've got 3 companies. Because those companies are involved in building brand new properties, acquiring land, that is why they've got that incentive to keep them empty. It wouldn't be an incentive if they were just a charity. You can't have your cake and eat it.
They're paying all the meter charges.
Yeah, I mean, they paid £31 million in interest alone. So they've got £31 million to pay for interest payments on loans, but they haven't got £3 million to refurbish that place.
All the time.
Yep.
Now we're looking at water a couple of hours every day.
Yeah.
We're still paying the same price.
So is there no management staffing at all here? They're all working from home.
Andy Wallhead's on annual leave. You did say she was trying to get Mick Walsh.
Mick Walsh, they were trying to get hold of Mick Walsh to come in.
Oh, there is a gentleman. Who's this gentleman here?
Oh, Adelaide.
Oh, maintenance. We finally got invited in, guys, to a meeting with 2 of the management staff, and here's the full meeting for you.
Yeah, I'm Matt.
And Jamie.
Definitely in the chair.
You know, I can stand, it's no problem.
We'll just get a chair,
I
Matt.
don't mind standing up. You come and sit on here.
Was there another chair?
No, it's easier just to...
Are you alright standing, mate?
Yeah.
You better go into that one now, and what I found in now is that get out.
Introductions.
Yeah, so I'll introduce myself. I'm Sue Young. I'm the Executive Director for Investment at WDH.
And I know. Mick's been in my mum's flat. Mick, actually,
Yeah.
I'm not calling for Mick. He's got me when we had got the other windows in for us when they didn't know. But as you know, me, I've been fighting for Beulah.
And I completely understand where you are.
And when they came out in June to say, 4 of them came out and say that they were closing it. We've been waiting for, you know, I've emailed you and everything, and you said it were going to board, and then we had the meeting, and then 6.5 minutes they came in and ripped the arse out. So I started protesting again by petitioning, which were all based at Beulah Court, and then the lovely Matt came, Jamie came, and well, obviously Jamie's been in your offices before and done a bit of filming. I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube, we probably have. Matt came and nobody were listening, so I got my petitions done. Now they came in and said there was no demand for Beulah Court because of the Ollie Road, what we're building, these 21 flats at the back. That's what they came in and said, all to do with the regeneration of Nottingley and things like that.
Can I just interject?
Yeah, go on.
You claim...
Shall we just finish doing introductions?
Yeah, I'm Matthew.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're...
A friend.
Yeah.
Call it.
Yeah.
So
this is Jamie mum, she lives in Beulah.
So these are Beulah residents.
And then Jamie's just a friend.
When we talk about demand for a building, you guys create demand. For instance, the care home recently that got built, you had a team that canvassed an area to create demand.
Beulah Gate.
So Beulah Gate, for example, an area was canvassed in local towns to canvass to make demand. So you create demand. Obviously the demand's there, but unless doctors are liaising with you guys and passing residents to you, you need to know the demand for a certain place. Then you guys have canvassed it. That's what you guys actively did.
That was, I think, on Beulah Gate, we will have been looking for demand for people who wanted to go there. We're advertising the property.
Yeah, so the thing was, Beulah Gate only had 6 people to move back into the cave. This is the thing here. They came into Beulah Court canvassing on a weekend.
The warden wasn't there, it was a Saturday and Sunday, and asking the residents if they're going to
Beulah Gate, because
that's because there wasn't enough demand to fill Beulah Gate.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 10 people went out of Beulah and went to Beulah Gate because they thought Beulah wasn't going to stay open. And they all regret it. I can tell you now, they all regret it.
When's Beulah Court going?
Right, let Matt
Can I speak? So you create demand by canvassing, that's fine. Yeah, you've got a job to do at the end of the day. So we've created demand for Beulah Court. There's 18 names on that sheet that are in a position and meet all the criteria to move in now. We've canvassed the people of Wakefield, the people of Nottingley, in the immediate surrounding area, not all of Nottingley. We've got 18 signatures on that sheet. Now I put to you guys that we all know that the role of Wakefield Metropolitan Council, how it changed to WDH and how it divided and stuff, but I'm asking you guys to just give the will of the people and keep this assisted living facility in Nottingley and do everything in your power to try and provide, to try and refurb Beulah Court or even build the bungalow system, what you said, for the 70 grand grants, and then refurb Beulah Court. When I'm in the building industry, so I understand about quoting and stuff and asbestos and this. Some of the quotes for the refurb, you know what I mean, obviously using separate companies, I know how it works, I'm not even going to get into that. The refurb for Beulah Court can be made more cost effective. I'll just say that right now. So what I'm asking you is, I know there's a role, but for us who are residents of Nottingley and Ferrybridge, we watch buildings just get knocked down. The WGH was recently, Rachel at Community Centre in Ferrybridge, we had a fighting around to maintain that, to maintain her lease. We've lost swim baths and all, there's plans in order to build this. But money gets spent on things like flagging pavements and stuff like that. And it's time, like as a people, that we start representing what the people want, even if it's just one battle that we win. I want that battle to be Beulah Court.
What's your understanding of what's going on?
What do you mean?
With Beulah Court? Is your understanding that that's it done, as a management here?
Let's listen to their side.
Bob's made a decision that they don't want to invest in the refurbishment of Beulah Court.
Because it's too costly.
Well, there's certainly an issue around grant funding, so in there, in terms of being able to attract any grant funding to do that. Because
but the thing is, though, I thought they had £3.1 million promised.
Let's listen to us finish.
Right? What I'd say to you is, we aren't the council.
I know that.
All our money comes from our rent payers.
Yeah.
Right? So any additional cost that we incur, we've got to get from tenants in Airedale, Cass, Ossett, Albury, Lutsey, and throughout the Wakefield District. It's not our role to regenerate a town.
No, we don't want you to regenerate a town. We just
will
want to
work
prevent.
with the council on their master plan.
What's the council got to do with Beulah Court? Just let us know. What's the
Sorry,
council?
one thing that you just mentioned, Matt, was about the community centre and the pavements, and obviously that is the council. So
Yeah,
that's
okay.
where we are.
Right.
Yeah, I've got nothing to do with the council. With this Beulah Court decision had.
What you've just mentioned there though, was that you'd perhaps been promised 9 bungalows, but that isn't off the table.
Right.
So there will be WDH.
No. In 2019, Mick, you came.
You came and told us because I gave you the key.
Yeah, I know you did.
And thanked you. And in 2009, I've even seen the plans because Graham Stokes sent me them. There was putting 9 bungalows at the back of the Low Club, and then they were refurbing, and they said, quote me if I'm wrong, those in Beulah Court can move into the bungalows until the refurbishment's done.
Yep.
And then, following year, when Beulah's done, the residents would move back in. So they said there was £3.1 million secure for it in 2019.
There was, and we have not.
So you spent it off somewhere else.
No, we've not been able to do that for various reasons, but what we are looking at is, and we've looked at all of the options, including refurbishment of Beulah Court, including the 9 bungalows, and we've not been able to do it. So we are committing though to doing something on that line.
Oh, definitely. Can I just ask if you didn't have
bungalows, they want an independent living scheme.
The
Yes, that was as well
whilst
as
it was getting refurbed and moved, and then to move back. So we make videos for social media, and doing a little bit of research, I'll tell you where our concerns are and where we're heading in the direction of the video. That we don't believe that if WDH didn't have those subsidiary companies, the one that builds the houses, the one that goes and focuses on all your online activities, it's kind of a monopoly on housing in Wakefield. That's what I'm seeing. And I don't believe that if you didn't have that monopoly, you would be knocking this place down, because you'd be keen to get that rental income from Beulah Court, because you'd be desperate for that income. You'd need that income because that is essential, isn't it? You'd only have the charity. You're saying that WDH is a charity. Yeah. You're presenting that to the community, but you're not behaving in a charitable way. You're behaving in a profit-driven way, and that is because you own 3 limited companies, and that is taking a big influence on this charitable.
This decision isn't just a financial decision.
No, it's mainly a financial decision when you read into what you're saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, demand. Demand for Beulah Court, right? I have got 42 people's names. I've got the demand, not WDH. I'm sorry, but I'm going to get really mad now. I've got demand there, 42 people's names, not even. That's just by people. It's not there. These are all people. Some of these are.
And the reason,
but it wasn't just a demand, but it was financial.
The reason why people want this is if, like, let's say they get to an age where they want to live independently with dignity, but they still want a means for their loved ones to come and visit them. For example, we all know the cost of living crisis, manufactured, 100%, but we all know the cost of living crisis. How many of these people have loved ones who, let's say, they use food banks, stuff like that, they can't afford train fares or bus fares or taxi fares to places outside of Nottingham. They want their loved ones on the doorstep. And that is all we're asking for, a place on the doorstep of our area in Nottingham, kept open.
There's 10 in Pontefract.
For us, that's it.
10 what?
Well, there's 3 independent living schemes and then 7 bungalow schemes. So there's 10 independent living places there.
Can I just say something in terms of demand generally, right?
Yeah.
When we transferred in 2005, yeah, we had 50 independent living schemes. Yeah, we've got 34 now, and we've got 34 because demand for this type of accommodation.
I don't know, because a lady went in touch with me.
Please, it's changed significantly, right? People are wanting to stay in their own homes significantly longer than they used to do 20 years ago. Okay, that's why demand's changed.
So if we went to Anchor Housing, for example, and spoke to someone from Anchor Housing, they'd confirm that that's the case then, because it's very same circumstances.
Same circumstances across the country, right?
That's what I'm saying. So we'll be able to find that and evidence it. Because I believe this is not about that. I believe this is about that land. Can I finish now?
Yeah.
I believe it's about that land that is under-occupied, I'd say. There's a lot of green area on that land.
The complete land.
Yeah, there's a lot of green area. It can be very lucrative to someone who owns 51% of a limited company, and especially if that's connected to a social housing provider. So you've pretty much hoodwinked Wakefield, because you've gone in and made a funding bid to take over the whole stock, on the promise that you'll maintain them, you'll bring them up to the government standards. Yeah, you've made all these promises in that bid. We've not read the bid yet, but I can bet it's full of promises. It says in your annual report that you've managed through COVID no problem. Everything's hunky-dory is what it says in the annual report. So I am going to suggest that this is a land grab, and this is a land grab of older people for profit. And 100%, you shake your head, but I guarantee we can prove that.
Well, obviously, you guys work on grants and external funding. This is what you're using. So the bungalows, I don't know, is it a £70,000 grant for each new build or something like that? Whatever.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You do get money per new build.
Yeah, because Tom told us
whatever the grant is, look.
We get money for new build, not on an existing site.
You should get fined for kicking older people out.
Can you try for us? Can you give it one last kick? Take it to whatever meetings it is you guys provide. Give us a word. Keep Lynn in the loop by email that you've got a meeting.
I am working with Wakefield Council to come up with options of what we do in the future.
I know. Well, Joe phoned me from Regeneration.
Joe Hill.
Yeah, because Tom Gardner spoke to
Yeah. So we
and I
are
am going to
working
a big council meeting about
and
it as well.
Once we've got any further plans, they will be shared with.
But plans are made already.
They definitely are, because they've even put the decision on the website. They've made a full statement. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
No demand in law. I had a lady who got in touch with me.
I'm not saying there's no demand.
No, but I'm saying the demand isn't there.
I don't believe there's sustainable demand.
At Eighton, when the
people are living longer, it don't make sense. People choose.
Not Eighton.
It's the cost of the accommodation as well.
Yeah.
Where they were, I can't remember what they called it, but a lady inboxed me anyway, and she said it broke their hearts because her mother had to move out of this area, and now it's full of houses. And she said they were quite happy there, and there were enough people living in there, but it was the choice that they'd made that they were selling the land. So I know what you're saying about the demand changes, but it'll have to change if people aren't going to fight for it.
The reason why demand has changed across the country, the reason why demand has changed is because the community hub in society in the UK has been destroyed. So the communities that all used to be together, there'll be many people, there'll be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people around our area that don't even know Beulah Court exists. But because communities have been destroyed and old friends who don't know where the friends are, if let's say my mum got to a certain age and she had a couple of friends who lived in Beulah Court, that demand would carry on. Now it's us people locally, that are doing our best to bring the community back because people are getting lost in the system, and that is basically what I'm about. Bringing us communities back together to make sure we are heard. Ever since the mining strikes, so it's been systematically destroyed to make sure the people don't have that power again. But what I'm saying to you is, we have a duty to work all as elderly and people want to live independently with dignity in their areas. We have a duty as human beings, not as CEOs, as businessmen, as organisations who look at the figures on a thing and say, yeah, that's not going to work, but we can get so many houses there, we can generate rent from that, and that's not from that. We have a duty of care to try and make sure we have infrastructure in place for the kids and for us all. And I understand that they're doing the grand plan, this grand master plan, Wakefield Council, and they're going to join all these things. I mean, this is going on for years and years and years and years.
And it's still
so we do have a duty, but we have a duty to the whole of the community, and some of that might be family housing. The demand might be higher or as high for family housing.
Just 2 minutes on that. Just 2 minutes on that. There's 29 vacant rooms in that building right now. Yeah, nearly all of them. Fully functioning, ready to be in. I've been inside every single room, fully functioning, everything. Water supplied, electricity. 29 vacant rooms. That means there's been a conscious decision to not fill them because you want to make it easier transition when you bulldoze it and do whatever it is you need to do with it according to your plans. Yep. That conscious decision has meant that homes in the community, that children, I've said it downstairs, that children are topping and tailing because they're in houses that they haven't got room to move in. My auntie, for example, has got MS, right? She cannot use her house. She can't go upstairs. She's waiting on places to go. She will go into Beulah Court. Her house is a 3-bedroom house. That conscious decision that you have made has created that one house, that 3-bedroom house for families that are waiting. That is the ramification and that is the ripple effect, what you've caused by making the conscious decision to leave that vacant, not take her out of that 3-bedroom house and open up a 3-bedroom house for her. That's 29 houses that you could possibly do the same with. 29 houses that you could open up to meet the demand for housing.
I think what you've asked us to do is to look at what we're going to do on there and to work with the council, which is what we're going to do on it, and then we will come back to you.
To kind of reconsider, how many people could be allocated that property based on your You know where they registered for a house and bid?
Home search.
Home search. How many people on home search
Well,
now
actually,
would qualify for that?
There's no house. I know I'm on a lot of sites, and the girl mentioned on Castleford that every time she looks for a house, there's no houses. You can't. There's not hardly anything.
I believe there'll be probably tens of thousands of people that are qualified on that home
search.
Yeah.
About 25,000.
There's 25,000 registered.
And that
Yeah.
influences how we.
So you use that data to influence your housing stock. Yeah. So you've got more families, etc.
If we advertise a 3-bed no build property
in
Nottingham, I think we'll get between 600 and 700.
Easy. Yeah, the demand for housing is massive. We're not arguing that point. But if can we get that point? What happens if it's an old lady who wants it then? If she's on home search and she bids, what's going on there?
I don't want to go back on
With
we would look at
bungalows,
with I went to Beulah Court
Beulah
to feel
Court.
safe, and I feel very safe in Beulah Court. You know I had my own house, and I went into Beulah Court because I feel safe. And now it's been taken away from me.
What should we tell the residents? What would you advise we say to the residents? What do we say?
Fred, what we are thinking, Mum Caroline come and asked about the home search forms. What did you say about your adult life? What were your words to her? What?
When I've been in Beulah Court for a few months, I was sat thinking, and I thought, well, this is the longest trouble-free period, problem-free period I've had in my adult life. I had a good childhood, but my adult life has been a bit turbulent, and I got settled into Beulah Court a couple of years, and
they've been the happiest 7 years.
I mean, tell them now, if these big wigs who have got all the money and are influencing that board, tell them now, you're wasting your time.
And the point is
tell them they're wasting the time now.
Taking in that meeting.
That was the conversation that we had after our board meeting. So what we're doing is working with you to find somewhere and working with the residents.
So that's right. They are confirming that is the
Because
I'm sorry, mate, but
either way they would have to move out.
Yep.
Even if we refurbished it.
Yeah.
So there's still
in the new bungalows.
But them new bungalows are to be built
the new bungalows won't be built.
No. The old plan was there was 9 bungalows. I've seen the plans, the road in.
And we're unable to build those.
Why?
Because they are too expensive on their own. Those 9
They weren't going to be on their own though, because they were going to be associated with Beulah Court.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
And we were going
So
to
you-
be there while
We have
Beulah
been
Court
unable
were
to
doing.
progress that.
It sounds like you've had a lot of involvement in this. You know a lot about the decisions. So I'm hearing that this is a fruitless exercise, and if that's what I'm hearing from you. That this decision's already made.
The decision is made to close Beulah Court and,
Yeah.
and to work.
Yeah.
And to work. No, there's no. We will work with every single tenant, and we'll work with both.
But if we can prove that
I do not want to go anywhere else but Beulah Court.
is that a valid point? Is it a valid point to say that if you work as a social housing provider, you can't have your cake and eat it? So if you're a social housing provider or you're a profit-driven, which is it? Because you're acting as both, and it's coming a bit. Well, I'm getting confused. Well, because social housing is to provide housing for the community, and in the community we have older people. If you're profit-driven, then you would bypass that decision and say, well, hang on a minute.
We don't generate profit.
No, that's what I'm saying is the con, because them other 3 companies do that are associated with WDH. They have 51%.
They don't have any
Like I said, let's just.
That's the issue, though, isn't it? Is it not?
Like I said, let's just
funny.
keep it away from that for one moment, right? So you say, so you've had your meeting, the decision's been made.
Yeah.
Well, I can decide to walk out my front door, and then I can decide to walk back in it.
But at the moment, nothing that happens today. We've listened to what you've got to say. I appreciate what you're saying in respect of the petition that you've got here.
And also that there's demand.
But I think you've just got to leave it with us for a little bit longer to work with the council.
What can the council do to save Beulah Court?
We're working with the council on the Nottingham Master Plan, not just about Beulah Court, because as you said when you started, it's the other things that haven't happened in Nottingham, and we are working with them on the bits that we can help with to make sure that housing is improved in Nottingham. So once we've got something to share on what our proposals are, once we've got something to share, we will come back to share it. And there isn't anything else that we can do.
Yeah, I appreciate
today.
that.
We are working.
Yeah, we know that. We know that. We're not here for some.
Can you stop them doing what they're going to do with Beulah Court?
They're going to negotiate it.
No.
See if you can get an answer to your question. Can you stop? Can you stop
I've
it?
always been honest with you, and I want an honest answer, Mick.
At the moment, the decision is that we won't be refurbishing Beulah Court.
That's right.
So
That's
it
right.
won't get done.
At the moment,
What we're doing
there's no
is
plan to go
looking at
forward.
we're looking at what options there are, but we have to go through a process to look at all of those, whether
But
they're
do you
needed.
in your own heart think that you will be able to save Beulah Court?
Don't get upset now.
Don't get upset, right?
I am getting
I know.
upset because he's
But
all
and you
of
come
course.
in and
I
say,
know.
oh, we'll give you
I
£7,100.
know.
For what? To move out of their own? You've got nothing else.
And,
No, they're not
and
doing.
it's can you believe that they've took away all the neighbours? Can you imagine it just makes no sense.
Can you imagine the psychological
took
effect
away all
it
the
can have?
neighbours like that and left them isolated on their own?
Basically letting them die off one by one till there's one left.
And that's where I keep
That's
saying
all it
profit
is.
driven,
That's
profit
psychological.
driven.
That's all it is.
Profit, profit.
And that's not you guys. I'm telling you that's a decision made in the office. But I'm telling you that there's 800 people on that sheet that have spoken from Wakefield.
Let's go.
A huge majority of them are Wakefield District Housing. 800 people on that petition have spoken. Their voice will be heard.
Okay, all right. So, as Sue said, we're working with local authority. When things start to move forward,
Yeah.
we'll come back.
Thank you so much for speaking
I
to
know
us.
you've always got letting you know, Linda.
Can I ask one final question? The chair of the board changed hands recently, didn't it? Yeah, it's 2001.
No.
You not got a new chair?
No. We didn't exist in 2001.
Sorry, 2021. It reads in your annual report.
Jackie Spade is chair of the board at
Yeah.
the
Yeah, and then previously was it
No, it's Andy Warlord who was
And
that chief
chief
executive.
Right, is the new was he's chief executive
executive,
a year ago?
It was Ken.
That's what I want to know. Did that change happen before or after this decision?
Sorry, I missed that.
Did that change just happen before or after this decision? You know that.
Owner of the new
Ken-
chief
Yeah.
executive, it wasn't. I don't.
Ken Dodd, oh Christ, sorry. Andy Wallhead had just taken over until the decision were made to keep it open because they said it were like night and day.
What's
He
it?
likes to see the independent. That was the exact
That's what
words.
Andy
he
said.
He likes to see the
Yeah.
independent living schemes open. It was like Kevin Dodd wanted it closing.
Right.
That's why it went in our in for a few years. And then they came in 2019 because I can remember Caroline. I was in the office with Caroline, and Caroline says, "If you see Mick walk through this door, because it's normally been down Parkman, if you see Mick walk through this door, you know it's getting kept open." And I saw you, and it was just fantastic.
I mean, there's
And
also
then-
an option for the community to get involved here, isn't there? Annika Rice could come along and we'll get some plasterers in, yeah? You know, we could have a community project though. It's possible that they get the community together because if it costs us 3 million funding available because of COVID, the prices have increased. We could look at getting that down. That's not a big barrier.
And if we took this to Wakefield Council to try and release some funding for the will of the people, that could have an effect, could it not? How long have we got? What is the projected time you've got?
They haven't given them any time.
Well, the projected time for anything different on there will be a couple of years because it takes that long.
So they'll all be dead by then, or they'll be hoping they will be.
Well, it gives us a chance. It gives us a
does,
different route.
Definitely.
Well, listen, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is appreciated.
That's
Between that.
To meet you.
Take care.
Thank you.
So there's
Cheers,
two.
Sue. Guys, we will keep you updated on this very sad story. If you can help us out, please do comment, share and like the video, please. Thank you so much for watching.